Winter is coming. Well, at least in Canada it is. And you will have a tastier and more affordable winter if you take a little time to preserve your harvest. Now, whether that's your garden harvest or your wild forage finds, there are lots of different ways to store them, including dehydrating, freezing, pickling, fermenting, and many more. But today we're going to take a look at how to best preserve your root vegetables so that you can have them into the snowy months. For storing your onions, you want the tops to be withered and dry. This prevents bacteria or disease from getting into the bulb. Watching all your hard work rot will make you cry faster than cutting onions. Then you'll want to cure your onions. This doesn't involve medicine nor an exorcism, but means pulling them out of the soil and letting them sit in the sun for a day or two. After a little sunbathing, bring them into a cool, dark place to let them dry for another week or so. Once cured, you can chop the tops and store them in a cool, well-ventilated spot. Or you can braid them. I don't think I have the best onions for this project, but I'm going to give it a go anyways. Larger cooking onions would certainly be more impressive and give you much more to work with. To do this, choose onions with long, dry, flexible tops. If you know how to braid, you're golden. If you don't, maybe pause this and go watch a hair tutorial. Pick the 3 largest onions for your base, then tie them with 2 feet of string. This will strengthen your braid. Separate your stems, then begin your braid. After each set of 3, alternate between adding 2 onions to the side strands or 1 onion to the middle strand. I didn't have a lot to work with, so I kept it short, but you can add as many onions as you like. Now admire your hipster homesteader handiwork. You can keep a braid handy in your kitchen to use and show off, but extra braids should be stored in a cool, dark place. Optimal temperature is 10 degrees Celsius or 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Carrots can be left in the ground as long as it remains unfrozen, and a light frost may sweeten them and improve their storage quality. Just don't wait too long. A carrot popsicle that you can no longer pull out makes for a sad harvester. When you're ready to pack them away for the winter, remove the tops with either a twist or a knife, but don't cut into the root, as a cut can leave the carrot open to rot. And don't forget, you can eat those tasty carrot greens. Link to that episode is in the description. Remove the excess soil, but it's best not to wash your carrots before storing. If you absolutely need to wash them, then air dry before you store. Carrots can be kept in perforated bags. That means they have holes in them. And then put in a cool place like your fridge or a root cellar. If you have lots of carrots, you can store them loosely packed in a 5-gallon bucket with holes drilled in the sides, bottom, and lid. You want to maintain airflow and humidity levels for your dirty treasures. Beets can be stored similarly, so I'm going to give the bucket method a try this year with the 2 crops together. Wouldn't want them to be lonely after all. This way, they are free to exchange a bit of dirt with each other. Avoid storing carrots near apples, as the ethylene gas that apples give off will cause a bitter flavor. Bad apples. When to dig? For winter storage, wait until the green leafy parts that are above the ground die off. This looks kind of terrible, but lets your tubers reach their full potential. Or you can remove the tops a week before digging to encourage the same result. Potatoes can tolerate a light frost, but should be dug up before a hard one. You want your soil to be above 45 degrees Fahrenheit or 7 degrees Celsius. Dig up a test hill to check for maturity. You want the skins to be thick and firmly attached to the potatoes. If the skins are thin and rub off easily, or if the tubers want to go hang out at the mall, then they aren't quite mature enough. Try to leave them in the ground for a few more days. While digging, try to create as little physical and emotional damage as possible. Damaged potatoes will rot, so you don't want to put them in storage. Set them aside and eat them in the near future. After digging your potatoes, let them cure. This means sitting at temperatures of 7 to 16 degrees Celsius or 45 to 60 degrees Fahrenheit for about 2 weeks. This gives the skins time to harden. We can all agree that Brené Brown's talks on vulnerability are amazing, but a potato with a thin skin won't make it through the season. Should they be left in the sun? You can briefly dry them to make the soil easier to brush off, but you don't want them exposed too long or they will turn green and produce glycoalkaloids, which makes them bitter. Tanning for potatoes is not encouraged. Actually, it's not great for humans either. Wear sunscreen and do most of your curing in a dark location. If you keep them on a piece of cardboard or a tarp, you'll find it easier to move them around and tidy up after. Then store your cured potatoes in a dark place that is around 4 degrees Celsius or 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Do not let your potatoes freeze. Again, too much light will make them turn green. Fun fact, a root cellar is any storage location that uses the natural cooling, insulating, and humidifying properties of the earth. Root cellars were constructed and used from the 18th century into the present refrigeration era. It's a time-tested method of storing foods like vegetables and fruits. This winter, I get to use my very first root cellar, which belonged to my late grandmother, and it really makes me feel connected to her. Are green potatoes poisonous? Well, kind of. The green may indicate glycoalkaloids, which are toxic to humans in high concentrations, but rarely do we see serious health effects. If you cut off the green parts and cook them at 350 degrees Fahrenheit or higher, which partly destroys them, then you should be alright. We hope this video helps you enjoy your harvest all winter long. If you have any storage tips you'd like to share, please add them in the comments below.